G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you are here today because, yeah, I can't believe it either. The Blues actually toppled the Chiefs away at Waikato in the Super Rugby quarterfinals. Good news for the Chiefs fans. They have I guess, get of a jail card for ranking #1 in the Super Rugby competition. So, because because the removal of the Melbourne Rebels, there are only, 6 teams that made into the quarterfinals, which means that one of the 6 teams, even if they lose, if they're still the top ranking seed out of the 3 losers, gets to play the next week anyway, moving into the semi-finals. And the Chiefs, being the top team in the competition, was guaranteed to move into next week even if they lose. Make no mistake about it, the Chiefs put out the best team out there on the field, tried the best they can to knock the Blues off, and yeah, the Blues was hanging on the edge like last week when they barely made the top 6, and they were hanging onto the cliff for pretty much like the first, I would say, 70 minutes before they finally put away in a try over past the 80th minute to win this game in a just absolutely outstanding, grinding, and just relentless, never give up rugby to put the Chiefs to the sword. And this wasn't the greatest performance for the Blues. Lots of mistakes. Line-out wasn't great. The scrum was a bit iffy for both teams actually. And the Chiefs looked pretty dominant for the most part. And again, I don't like the fact that they just default to the penalty kicking. I mean, the Blues did this as well. Just default to the penalty kicking like 1 minute into the game. Like literally the game just started, 60 seconds, and the referee hasn't even broken a sweat yet, and the Chiefs opted for 3 points. Just think that some of these decisions could have managed a little bit better, and the Chiefs was dominant for the most part. They weren't clinical enough to get more points, but they had every opportunity to win this game. And they just let it slip out of their hands, and the Blues capitalized on that, the the soft options, and once again we are going to have to talk about the very uncomfortable question, especially to a lot of the All Blacks fans out there. Is David McKenzie once again not able to cope with pressure, cope with his goal kicking under high pressure? Because there was the point where the Chiefs could have won the game, basically, lock up the game. 74 minutes, there's a penalty, albeit this is a little bit of a difficult one, but for Damien McKenzie, for someone that is next in line to take the coveted, number 10 black jersey, this needs to be a gimme, okay? Especially in an important match like this, you can't miss this. Especially he got every other goal kick beforehand. He goes ahead, and as you can see that he got all 5 kicks from the other side of the field, and on this side, he just missed this one. This was on the right-hand side of his right-footed kick as well, and yeah, I mean, again, this is just not good enough for someone, of his caliber. We saw him a few weeks ago against the Reds where he dropped the ball every time, and yeah, and again, the whole season for the Chiefs, their away performances hasn't been that good, especially in Australia. And again, it's just, David McKenzie, let me know your thoughts. Like, is he just not able to perform outside of his comfort zone? Like, if he gets a bit of pressure on him, he's just not going to be able to perform. Is that just like one of those things that he's never going to be able to shake? Or you think that one day he will finally, grow out of this sort of things? Like, this is really, really important. And for an All Black number 10, if you think about the great All Black number 10, Stan Carter, Richie Muonga, they would have got this one like 10 out of 10. Not 9 out of 10, not 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It is the big moments that, that defines the great fly halves. And yeah, I'm really, really disappointed when I saw this miss. And let me know your thoughts, especially if you're a Chiefs fan, of this shanked kick once again under pressure for Damien McKenzie. And for the Blues, I thought, it was scrappy. They had to play with 2 hooker on the field for like most of the game. And yeah, there was yellow card as well to Ricky Riccatelli. A trip, just completely brain explosion. I'm actually surprised that like the commentary was right. That could have been a red card for some depending for some situations. But he just literally stuck his foot out and tripped Damien McKenzie after a kick through. Could have been a red card in some situations. If that was a bit closer to the try line, I would say. If that was like this was like halfway, if that was closer to the try line, that could have been a red card because you have actually stopped the try using an illegal, dangerous move there. So I think he might got a bit lucky there. And there was 2 tries that was botched from both teams. Beauden Barrett was doing one of his. He felt like he's 27 again, right? Beauden Barrett. He did like a little chip over the top, and then he followed it through with a bit of soccer skills, kicked it down the field, and it was running through. It was just him on the try line, just jumping in for the embrace with the ball, with the try line, and then jumped onto the ball, and then it just left. He was trying to like slide it in, like with the ball, like did like one of the diving slides with the ball was running on the ground, and then the ball just left behind him, and he couldn't get the try. Oh, he was so close. And Beauden, he was laughing, but I'm sure the Blues fans and the Blues coaching staff was not laughing after seeing that. He could have scooped it up and easily grounded that for the try. He decided to dive onto the ball and leaving the ball behind for the slide without the ball over the try line. And then there was another one with Cortez Ratama as well. I think it was Rona, found a bit of a gap through, and then he like threw the ball. He kicked the ball in field. And we saw this, like, they did this really successfully in the last few rounds, especially Rona and Ratama, little kick behind towards the center field, and it was Ratama right in front of the goalpost. He could have just scooped it up and, even just a little tap forward for the ball to get in goal and jump on it. He tried to scoop it up, and then it knocked the ball on right in front of the try line. Those were the moments where it's just like you'll be punching yourselves watching the replays, Monday morning. And it is one of those really exciting games. Other than goal kicking, I think from the Chiefs, especially having the dominance, I think that they should, especially when they were leading, right? If you're behind, or like if if it's really close, especially when you're leading quite a bit, you just want to. So I just want to like kind of explain this logic here. So there's when you're winning, right? The goal is not to hold on to your margin. I think that's the wrong mentality. That's the way the Chiefs think about it. If we're winning, let's just hold on to the margin and try to just like try to do the minimum we can to hold on to the margin. And that is what the England team does. And that is the downfall of the England side. When they're winning, they try to just do the minimum they can to hold on the margin and try to extend the margin just by that tiny bit. When what you should be thinking is, when you're winning, you should think about how you can win more so that to increase the margin at a faster rate. Because that's kind of like how you have to close out the game. Because if you think about it, if you're winning, the opposition is trying to catch up. The opposition is trying to catch up at a faster rate than you are holding on, right? So the goal for the opposition, the mentality of the opposition, is try to score more points and increase the rate of scoring, right? If your mentality is to do the minimum you can, which means decreasing your speed of scoring, you're actually going to get caught up if the opposition gets their game plan rolling, right? Does this make sense? You have a gap, right? And if your mentality is just increase the gap just slowly, you're going to get caught, because the opposition's mentality at this point is, we're going to do more. We're going to do a lot more to catch up to this. So the opposition is going to try to score 7s. And if you only think that we only need 3 to stay ahead, you're going to get caught. So the idea for the winning team, even when you're winning, right, is to continue that gap as fast as you can. In fact, you wanted to think that you wanted to increase the rate the opposition trying to catch up with you with, which is scoring tries. That's the mentality you need to have to actually win these games. And that's, we see that a lot from England. And I think the Chiefs kind of fall into that trap again tonight against the Blues. Let me know your thoughts. I think, I hope that's making sense to you, right? The opposition is trying to score 7 points to catch up for the deficit. And if you're thinking, I just need 3 to stay ahead, then mathematically, you're going to get caught. So the winning team needs to think that we need to score 7 to actually maintain the gap, right? If the opposition scores 7, you score 7, you actually can maintain your gap. If you think you can just win by 3, the opposition is trying to catch up by 7, the gap's gonna get closed up. And that's the mentality I think that the Chiefs fell into, and I think that's a mental trap some of the teams fall into as well. You actually giving an opportunity for the opposition to catch up with you by scoring 3 points instead of mentally putting yourself through to score 7. But yeah, anyway, that's my 2 cents on that matter. Let's have a look at the try scoring of the game. One try for the Chiefs to the Blues 2. 304 run minutes, the Blues 307. Like the Blues threw the kitchen sink at the team. 10 turnovers conceded for the Chiefs, 14 against the Blues. 202 tackles made for the Chiefs, 16 missed tackles for the Chiefs. The Blues 172 tackles for the Blues. At 19 missed tackles overall. 30 kicks in play for both teams. 1 missed goal. That's probably 716 kick minutes for the Chiefs. 745 for the Blues. Very similar kicking styles as well. Both little grabber kicks, a lot of high balls. Very similar style there. 4 lineouts lost for the Chiefs. I thought the Blues had a worse lineout because of the hooker situation, but my goodness, that's bad. 7 lineout loss for the Chiefs. 4 loss for the Chiefs out of 7, and 2 loss for the Blues out of 16. 1 scrum loss against the Chiefs. I thought it was a bit of a harsh call. I think it went down. I thought it was pretty even. There was a boring in, actually, that's not a hard call. That was really obvious. Boring in from Aiden Ross, I think, in the first half. That was basically the first scrum. No loss for the Blues. And just to point out, the Blues actually got screwed a little bit at the end there before they scored their final try. They had a penalty. They went for the scrum. And the Chiefs pushed forward, giving away a short arm. And the Blues can't have another scrum. So they literally lost their advantage, the penalty, to the Chiefs, infringing on an early push, right? I think that's just, really poor law. The Blues would have said it would prefer to reset instead of you giving out a scrum penalty, a short arm penalty. So the Blues had to take a tap, which is a disadvantage to the Blues, because if they won on the scrum, I think that's the law is really, really poorly thought out. Anyway, 12 penalties conceded for the Chiefs, 11 against the Blues, 1 yellow card against Ricky Riccatelli for a trip. Anyway, there's not much to talk about this game, so let's do a quick recap of the scoring of the game. 1 minute in, Chiefs had a penalty. They kicked it 3 points. 3 points to nil. Blues 5 minutes in, gets himself a penalties as well. Bowden Barrett kicks this one, 3 points apiece. And then it took about 26 minutes. Rona got through. He kicked the ball in field. Cortez Ratama dropped the ball right in front of the goalpost. And after that, 31 minutes. This was a very physical game. Like, both teams did really, really good in rush defense, and there was not much forward momentum that was generated for the most part of the game. And there was so resulting in a fair bit of a kicking game. 31 minutes in the game, there was on a penalty for the Chiefs. D-Mac kicked this one, 6 points to 3. 34 minutes, Ricky Riccatelli tripped D-Mac after a kick through, sent off a yellow card, and then D-Mac kicked this penalty for 9 points to 3. 40 minutes just before halftime, Bowden Barrett chipped the ball over the top, soccer kick in front just before the goal line, and left the ball behind. So no try there for the Blues, and I was laughing so hard. I could not believe that either. Anyway, second half, 47 minutes in, there was a penalty against the Chiefs for playing the halfback, essentially cleaning out the halfback. 9 points to 6. Bowden kicked this one. 50 minutes into the game, there was a scrum penalty against the Blues, and Chiefs kick another one. 12 points to 6. 58 minutes into the game, the Blues went for the back themselves. Less is what I'm saying. The Blues now in the the Chiefs actually. The Blues had a 5-meter line out, and the ball was a loss, and the Chiefs taking the throw was not straight. The Chiefs taking a tap, and then there was an offside. Chiefs taking another quick tap, and then lots of pressure center field. Ball came out to the blind side essentially. Damian McKenzie pinpoint accurate, threading the bonito to Daniel Rona, who ran in for the try. 19 points to 6. So now this is what I'm talking about. The Blues has to score 7 points to catch up. If the Chiefs' mentality here is just trying to kick 3, you're going to get caught. And I think that That is the problem here for the Chiefs. The Blues shortly threw the kitchen sinks after this. 64 minutes. The Blues had a penalty, went for the line out, lots of pressure. They were denied a few times before this. Eventually, Kurt Eklund gets the drive over with the teammate from behind. 19 points to 13. 76 minutes, D-Max missed the penalty. Really important one, like I said. Under pressure once again. Finally, the Blues, after this, for the last 4 minutes, the Blues basically ran the ball out from their own 22 all the way in front of the Chiefs' goal line. Repeated penalties. Blues win for the scrum. Short on penalty from the scrum for early push. And then Blues tap and go. Crash through. And eventually, Boshier, Behir, whatever his name is, gets pushed through by his teammate from behind for the try to win the game. 20 points to 19. Yeah. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully the Brumbies don't get eliminated by the Hurricanes. But yeah, it's not looking that great. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you guys later. Cheers.